Morning viewers, welcome to another episode of Careers Bistro, the show where we sit down with different aspects of the different careers in Namibia. Today I am joined by Mr. Albin Jacobs, the Managing Director of Southern Business School, and he is also featured in today's Careers Hub, so make sure that you get yourself a copy. Good morning, Mr. Albin.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So first things first, please tell us, briefly describe your journey to where you are today.
Well, as outlined in the article, I grew up in Kommersdal. I matriculated from Dawit Besaidnout High School. After that, I went to university. At first, I went to the University of Western Cape. I studied law, but I didn't complete. I came back and I started studying at the University of Namibia. I completed a Bachelor of Arts degree at UNAM. Then I completed a Master's in Political Science. And then I started working for the Ministry of Agriculture at that point. And I got a scholarship to study in the UK. And I completed a Master's in Project Planning and Management at University of Bradford. That's in terms of my academic career. In terms of my job, I started working for the National Planning Commission just after independence. And I was involved in the preparatory work for the first census that was done in '91. That was it was a lot of fun. It was also a very interesting job because we traveled throughout the whole country. And, it's an opportunity that I think few Namibians get to drive through the country like this. And I always say that I really saw Namibia one village at a time. And that was one of the best experiences in my life. And then I started working for the Ministry of Agriculture as a development planner, particularly in food security in the food security department in the Ministry of Agriculture. That was also very interesting. I worked with a lot of different communities, with a lot of different donors and partners from all over the world. And that was, apart from being interesting, I learned a lot out of that experience. After that, I joined the then Polytechnic of Namibia, now NUST. I got involved with the Center for Entrepreneurial Development. I later on became the director for the center. After that, I joined the Namibia German Center for Logistics. I was the founding director there. I also taught for a semester or so at NUST, which was also an interesting experience. And in 2013, I joined Southern Business School. As the director.
Managing director. So far during your time at Southern Business School, what would you say is your biggest highlight? One thing that you always look back and say that, yes, this is why I enjoy what I'm doing.
You see, one of the best things for me is that I was able to grow Southern Business School into a recognized name in the education environment. And the fact that we now have more than 3,000 students per annum enrolling with Southern Business School all over the country. We've built it out. We have 15 exam centers across the country. Our students can write exams at any of these centers depending on where they find themselves. And I think those are some of the highlights for me. Also, when we introduced our master's programs in Namibia, it was so surprising the number of enrollments we have at the postgraduate level for our honors and masters programs. That was really something. You could see that there's a need for that, and even up to now, the numbers that we get on those programs, it's a testimony that we are doing something that is appreciated out in the market. I think what is also at the moment something that I'm really looking forward to is the fact that we are now part of a larger group of companies. We are now part of the Stadio Holdings group. In the Stadio group, we are 6 different private higher education institutions that were acquired over the last few years. And we are working towards becoming one big private higher education institution. So that is something we are looking forward to.
So we spoke about the highlights. Let's speak about the lowlights. What are the challenges that you currently experience in your industry?
I think at the moment one of the biggest challenges is finances for most of the students. You can see that the numbers are either decreasing or stagnating because students simply don't find the resources to study. I think that's one of the biggest challenges at the moment. Also, as a distance education institution, one of the minor challenges that is out there is the issue around bandwidth and availability of internet facilities for our students. Because, distance education these days, it's driven by technology, and it really, you can see that it has an impact on students. And apart from it, even where it is available, again, the cost of those services and technology, it really hampers students in terms of taking up education, particularly distance education. And I always say that, distance education, the biggest benefit that it brings is that it takes away all that peripheral cost of accommodation and transport and so on. A student can stay at home and study. I mean, it demands a certain level of commitment. It's definitely not for everybody, but for a large number of students, this works. And therefore, if we could improve on the technology side in terms of bandwidth availability and the cost thereof and so on, I think that will also improve things for a lot of students. So I think those two are the biggest challenges at the moment.
Yes. So with that said, Albin, I'd like to find out lastly, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Yeah, in the next 5 years, as I said, we are now part of Stadio Holdings. We have acquired all these different institutions. We are now in a process where we are building all of these different institutions into one big private higher education institution. So in time, we will be known as Stadio Higher Education, or a different name, but Stadio. And I think that is what will drive me for the next 5 years, to really build this new institution. Because for me, the critical thing is it's about creating opportunities. And through these different institutions, we will be able to bring different qualifications to the Namibian environment, different levels of qualifications. And I think creating all those opportunities and building this new entity, that is what will occupy me for the next 5 years.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Albin.
No, thank you.
So from me, to Nole, and my guest here today, see you guys next week.